care at a dime on the dollar to whoever these providers are. And then I dare you to go find somebody that actually you can get in and use your blue card, unless it's an emergency room and something like that, and who has to take you, you're bleeding out. So it's easy to vote access, and that's what the bill mostly is about, access. There was only one component of it, and that's what I was on the telephone about this morning, actually at our organization as an employer, is just the excise tax, the 2018 excise tax. And you're probably very familiar with that thing, but I actually learned some about it this morning that I didn't know. But that's the only thing in there. They kind of put a backstop, and there was a big fight with the unions, because most union plans are very healthy Cadillac-style plans, and it was supposed to curtail those, and the unions kind of cut a deal with the administration or with Nancy Pelosi or whoever was doing the bill at the time, watered it down a little, and that's why it doesn't start until 2018. But this whole Cadillac tax idea, it's forcing high-deductible health plans, it's forcing the skin in the game we talked about earlier, it's forcing some of the behavioral stuff. We were on the phone actually today talking about what Tom was just talking about was how do we get our employees to actually get healthy and stay healthy and eat a Mediterranean diet, eat real food, and all these kinds of things. What are we doing about that, and how can we drive that? So the PPACA, because of the excise tax, is driving that behavior backwards. I agree with what Peter's saying. I think that, and it's kind of what I had mentioned early on, is just the fact that the economics of healthcare have gotten so bad that whether PPACA gets overturned or not, employers, what I see is actually employers are using the excise tax as a shield to run behind to go tell their employees you're going to have to change. But if you took that away, the train has kind of left the station, and the costs are so high. So there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, which are, as this has been said, beneficial changes to us as individuals, to our companies, to our country. But that's the only thing in there. The rest of the costs are actually, if anything, the costs go way up. Everything in PPACA just makes things much more regulated, complicated, and if anything, drives costs up. There's a ton. These healthcare exchanges, last thing I'll say, there's just, in the exchanges, we were talking about those in a meeting a couple days ago, and those plans are going to have to be underwritten heavily. We were talking about, are you going to discount more into the plans? And I said, why? Why would I discount? Why would I charge somebody $100 outside of the exchange and charge them only $80 inside of an exchange, or $50? I just go, well, I can't. There's no magic in taking care of these kids. It doesn't change because there's a healthcare exchange suddenly in California. There's no magic to that why that should be cheaper healthcare. There's no such thing. And I think, again, that's where people, the single payers or exchanges, or these silver bullets, looking for a silver bullet, and these are just different mechanisms to create access. They have nothing to do with cost. So there's all that work is still to be done. And the only thing the excise tax do is creating a big kind of a wall you're running into eventually, and so people are trying to get out of the way of that.
Excellent. Speaking of cost, I want to tee up what I call the dreaded rationing issue. In the traditional view of healthcare, you've got providers and you've got doctors and you've got health plans, and they all kind of come together. And the question is, what about the actual patient and their experience of it? I don't think it's realistic. We've heard a few references to it now about the reality of rationing. I would like to ask Tom to kick us off, given that Kaiser has been accused of rationing care on more than one occasion. So share your perspective with us, Tom.
By who?
Not me. I didn't do it.
Thank you. Well, that's a great question. It's again, in my quest to uncover the gems of Kaiser Permanente. And I won't go through the laundry list, but as I looked at the awards that Kaiser